Breaking news for the Las Vegas Raiders. We finally have secured our general manager. He has finally signed on the dotted line. John Spytek has signed a 5-year contract with the Las Vegas Raiders. And this morning we got breaking news on who the next head coach for the Las Vegas Raiders will be. The Las Vegas Raiders have officially signed former Seattle Seahawks head coach Pete Carroll to what appears to be a 3-year deal according to ESPN's Adam Schefter. So let's talk about it. The new regime is essentially in place now with the new general manager and with Pete Carroll. Now, according to reports, everything seems to indicate that their main target was Ben Johnson, but after Ben Johnson accepted the Chicago Bears head coaching gig, everything seems to indicate that their next option was Pete Carroll, and the Raiders have secured Pete Carroll at this point. So let's just give a brief overview of Pete Carroll, what he brings to the Raiders, his overall coaching history, philosophy, and what we can maybe expect from him at this point in his career. His coaching career dates back all the way to 1973, where from 1973 to about 1993, he was a defensive backs coach for multiple different colleges. From 94 to 97, he was the head coach at USC, where he finished with an overall 34-19 record. And then in college, he did return as the head coach at USC for a second stint, where he eventually led them to a national championship. He has a lot of NFL experience as well. Defensive back coach for Buffalo Bills, defensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings, and defensive coordinator for the New York Jets from 95 to 96. And then 1997 to 1999, he was a head coach for the New England Patriots, where he had an overall 27-21 record with one playoff appearance. And his latest stint, 2010 to 2023, head coach of the Seattle Seahawks, and this was definitely his best moment as a coach. Arguably this or his USC career in college. And ultimately, he was able to turn around the Seattle Seahawks. By his 4th season, he was able to make them Super Bowl champions, where they just absolutely demolished the Denver Broncos, led by Peyton Manning, 43-8. And then they went to back-to-back Super Bowls the following year, where they lost to the New England Patriots in a very controversial play when it comes to the play calling. But Pete Carroll is essentially known for implementing the Legion of Boom defense, which is one of the best defensive units in NFL history. And last season, he took a step down. He was still with the Seattle Seahawks, serving as a consultant, and now he's going to have another head coaching opportunity with the Las Vegas Raiders. Now let's just break down his overall coaching records with the Seattle Seahawks from 2010 to 2023. You're talking about 14 seasons. In those 14 seasons, he has made the playoffs 10 out of 14 times. His total record in Seattle is 137 victories, 89 losses, and 1 draw. So definitely a super solid tenure with Seattle. Made the playoffs 10 times, won the NFC West title 2 different times, 2 NFC championships, and 1 Super Bowl championship. Now, his overall coaching philosophy, is more described as an energetic, positive, and a guy who focuses on not only team development, but also personal development for his players, which has translated into success in the college and professional ranks of football. And his overall philosophy is best described by his win forever mantra, which essentially emphasizes positive energy. He's an upbeat, positive type of head coach. He believes in the power of positivity to enhance performance. He also emphasizes competition. He instills a culture that everybody has to compete for their job. Also emphasizes practice, emphasizes detailed high energy practices where the process is as important as the outcome. And he's just been known for his always compete philosophy during practice. He believes in balance for the players as well. He advocates that a balanced life is very important for a football player when it comes to personal growth, family, and other aspects of life. And this also includes his Tell the Truth Monday, where players are encouraged to open up about their physical and mental state on these days. And lastly, versatility when it comes to the defensive side of the football. He's been known for adapting his defensive schemes to maximize his players' talents, which was evident in that Legion of Boom defense. Now, what are my overall takeaways with the Pete Carroll signing? Well, first I will say, he wasn't my first option. Ideally, I wanted an offensive-minded head coach, a younger OC type style head coach, one that could call plays, and hopefully go for the potential of trying to get like the next up and coming Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, Matt LaFleur type of head coach. To me, Pete Carroll is more of a safe signing. He's more of a player's coach, which we had that with AP, but definitely Pete Carroll brings a lot more experience, a better resume. But I wanted us to go a different route at the head coaching position. But with Pete Carroll, I think he's a coach it's like a safe signing in my opinion. He has a relatively safe floor. I mean, to me, he's not gonna flunk. He's not gonna crash out like we had with like a Josh McDaniels type of coach. So it's a little bit safe in that sense. And when you look at him, he definitely has a lot of experience, has a great resume, players coach, energetic type of guy. He is getting up there in age though, about to be 74 years of age. And this makes him the oldest head coach in the National Football League. And just realistically, given our current situation with the Raiders, I think the Raiders are going to need a long-term plan to turn this franchise around. And you can see that with the contract we signed with John Spytek, 5 years. And I think this is not a 1 to 2 year rebuild, more than likely, unless you can somehow get an elite franchise quarterback, which is always difficult. And with Pete Carroll signing a 3-year deal, his age being a question mark, I don't know if this is a great long-term solution, and ideally that's what I wanted to look for. And also, when you look at Pete Carroll, I mean, his last 3 seasons were not great with Seattle. It definitely seemed like that team was on the decline, and that's why they wanted to go in a different direction. In his last 3 seasons, he missed the playoffs twice. And when he did make the playoffs, he lost in the wild card round where they barely snuck in at 9-8. And his last 3 seasons, he was essentially a 500 head coach with an overall 25-26 record the last 3 seasons. And realistically, I think Seattle Seahawks, they were going to fire him if Pete Carroll was stubborn and he wanted to continue as a head coach. But instead, given his history with the team, instead they offered him to step down. Seattle's a classy organization. They let him leave in a good manner. But if we're just going off of his recent track record, it's nothing special in my opinion. When he first came into Seattle, it took them 2 seasons to turn around that franchise. And that was with them drafting a good quarterback in Russell Wilson. And look, the Raiders are also in a situation where we're going to need a quarterback. So realistically, I don't see him turning this thing around anytime soon. Maybe in 2-3 years. But at that point, his contract is going to be up or getting very close to being up. And I think longevity is definitely going to be a big factor here. Personally, I'm just scared of players or just coaches in general that, they've had a good past years back. And now they come to the Raiders and we're essentially trying this retread sort of trend. But realistically speaking, I feel like these type of moves just haven't worked for the Raiders for a while now. And I just get concerned when we get a situation like this. I also do not love the fact that he's not really a play caller on the defensive side of the football or on offense. Like I said, I would have preferred a younger offensive coordinator style head coach. Another thing with Pete Carroll is with him being more like a players type coach, he's going to have to assemble a good coaching staff around him if he wants to succeed. And I'm just really curious on who is going to be the offensive coordinator of this team. I mean, judging off of his track record, does he go with a guy like Shane Waldron, who was the OC with the Seattle Seahawks from 2021 to 2023, and then he moved to the Chicago Bears job where he got fired? Does he go that route? At defensive coordinator, who is going to go? Before, there was reports and speculation that if Pete Carroll got hired, he was going to go after Robert Saleh, but everything seems to indicate that Robert Saleh will return with the San Francisco 49ers for the defensive coordinator position. So who does he go there? I mean, does he go with a familiar face in Gus Bradley, a guy who's super familiar with that cover 3 style defense that he ran with the Seattle Seahawks with the Legion of Boom? So that'll be interesting as well. And it's going to be a huge decision for Pete Carroll. We need to get the offensive coordinator position right, especially if we end up drafting a quarterback and we want to develop him. So something to take into consideration. And look, overall, I mean, it's not a terrible signing at all to me, but to me, it's just really safe. It's really conservative. He has a good floor, but I don't really know what the upside is. Maybe he could turn this thing around relatively soon, but even by then, He's going to be approaching like 77 years of age. Now, I will give him credit though. He is 74, but he looks like he's very healthy. He definitely looks like he takes care of himself. So I will give him that. And with him joining the AFC West, something that's interesting is the Jim Harbaugh and Pete Carroll rivalry will continue. Now, Pete Carroll overall has a 5-7 record against Jim Harbaugh in college and the NFL. But he did definitely win some of the most crucial games, especially when he beat him in that NFC Championship game with Seattle. But Raider Nation, I definitely want to get you guys feedback on the comment section down below. What do you guys personally think of Pete Carroll? Do you guys think it's a good signing? Or do you think we should have gone in a different direction for the head coaching position? Is him being older in age any concern for you? Let me know in that comment section down below. But with that being said, Raider Nation, that's all I have for you guys in today's video. Anybody that is new to the channel and you guys love Raider related content just like this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. That being said, I will see you guys in the next one.